everybody. Welcome to the next game in the NBC Game of the Week 1978. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, and it will be the Houston Astros taking on the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley. First order of business is to get the ballpark effects, weather, and so forth. So we'll get those started. Wrigley Field. Average temperature. This game was played September the 2nd, so we're into September. The average base temperature here is 60. The only way that changes is if we get 86. So these three dice, 3d10s, have to equal 26 or higher to change this. Otherwise, it ain't gonna happen. So, well, that's a 17, so it makes up to 77, but it's still not enough to change this. So we will keep the regular ballpark effects for Wrigley Field. Hello, Ernest, and hello, Dr. D. All right, let's get this show on the road. Starting pitchers for today's game: Rick Reuschel for the Cubs and Mark Lemongello for the Astros. The only thing kind of different about this is that both teams' cards are similar colors. The only thing that's going to set Houston apart is this orange numerals. I kind of wish they'd put the orange in the background here because that was more their prevalent color than the blue, but that's just the way Clay drew it up, so that's the way we'll deal with it. One lineup change. The regular lineup had somebody that was not carded, had like 3 at bats or something. So, second baseman, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he Drummond or somebody, I don't know, somebody hardly ever knew. But anyway, Julio Gonzalez is going to take his place at second base. So we got Landestoy, Gonzalez, Poole, Cruz, Cabell, Watson, Walling, Bochy, and Lemongello for the Astros. And we have Gross, Scott, Buckner, Kingman, Mercer, Trio, Rader, DeJesus, and Reuschel for the Cubs. Hello, Ben. Good to see you. I know I said I was going to do this at 11 o'clock to not interfere with college football, but the more I thought about it, like, I'm not changing my schedule. It's not proper English, but I'm not changing my schedule for nobody. So I could care less about college football. The whole transfer portal thing has left me cold to college football.
Okay, I think we're back now. I'm not sure why that thing conked out so fast on me, but there's Xfinity for you. So we'll try this again. I don't remember off the top of my head. Hopefully, I finished the inning. Terry Poole flew to center, so you guys saw or didn't see. But we're getting ready to head to the bottom of the first, no score. Mark Lemongello on the mound for the Astros. Hey, Michael. Hey, Kenyon. Good to see you. Robert. All you guys. All right, so bottom of the first, and it's Mr. Lemongello. You missed the whole half inning. Oh, wow. I didn't even pay attention to that. Well, the foul out to third, a fly to right, and a fly to center. That was the 1-2-3 inning for Rick Reuschel. So now we're starting the bottom of the second. Hello, Mark. Chuck, good to see all of you. All right, here we go for Greg Gross. 260 for Gross, and he's a lefty. So 260 Lemongello. That's a deep drive to right field right off the bat, but Gross has 0 power. So not likely to get a home run unless these 2 dice really add up to something big. They add up to 8. So a deep drive, where does it go? Deep drive to right, and an 8. It's going to be a deep fly to right field. So Greg Gross comes away empty-handed. Fly to right, got the deep drive, but he has no power. So, all right, here's Rodney Scott. That's a 133. Lemongello 133 is a fly to right, 2 down. So 2 fly balls to right field. And for those that came in later or didn't hear it earlier, I was originally going to bump my schedule up to 11 o'clock, and I said, screw it. I don't care about college football. And it's not proper English, but I ain't changing my schedule for nobody. So People don't watch, that's fine. If they want to watch college football, that's fine. More, it's America. You can do what you want. All right, 171 is a walk. So base on balls by Bill Buckner. And that'll send up Dave Kingman, King Kong Kingman, left fielder. Hey, Scooney, good to see you. 187, and that's going to be a bloop single. And with 2 outs, that's going to get the runner to third base. Even Buckner, as slow as he is, can get to third base. So runners at the corners with 2 outs for Bobby Mercer, the veteran. 654. We're at the Cubs Wrigley Field, so they're the home team. It's now 664, and that's going to be a wild pitch. That 10-point difference made it that home field advantage is a wild pitch. 654 would have been a ground out, but it's a wild pitch instead, and the Cubbies lead it 1-0 on the wild pitch by Lemongello. So there's where the home field advantage comes into play, getting those extra 10 points. Yeah, I also looked at the noon schedule, and there's crap at the noon schedule. There's nothing going on at the noon schedule. No game worth of crap. All right, well, 682 comes 692, and that's going to be a double for Bobby Mercer. Double for Mercer, an RBI double. And the ballpark has been very kind to the Cubs now. 2 consecutive rolls, and it's 2-0 Chicago. Lemongello not happy. Here's Manny Trio. 279, and he is a right-handed hitter. That's still a deep drive. Look at all that. He's got a deep drive, 252 to 299. He must have given up a lot of home. He gave up 20 home runs in 210 innings. That seems like an awful big gap for a deep drive, though. But whatever. Trio's power is a 1, so probably not going to be a home run, but he certainly can get a base hit. He had 1, 2, so that's a total of 10. That'll be a double. That'll be another double. So 2 doubles back to back. And the Cubs lead it 3-0. I was hoping it wouldn't be a blowout, but now it's looking like it might be. Here is Lemongello, 627. We're going back to the ballpark card, but it's a 637, and it's a ground out to end the inning. I'm just so jaded on college football. I don't even care if my team wins. I don't even have a team. It's hard to have a team when you don't have players. How can you get behind a team when the team changes every year? I mean, it's like most teams have 30 or 40 transfers that come in and change the whole team around. So how can you get behind a team? Recruiting is almost null and void because whoever you recruit's not going to be there in a couple of years. They're either going to go to the NFL if they're really good, or they're going to transfer. So all right, here is Jose Cruz. I mean, if you like college, I mean, I like the game college football. I love the atmosphere and everything, but it's just hard to get behind it. It's hard to get behind it when you got the NIL and the transfer portal. It's just hard to get behind it. When the days of college athletes are long since gone. 133, and that is a fly to left. And that's why Alabama's dead now, because Alabama's doing now, or Alabama did back then, what everybody else is doing now, except they got away with it. So, but now Alabama doesn't have that advantage anymore, so Alabama's down the dumps. I think that's why Nick Saban left. He said, crap, I can't have this advantage anymore. Everybody else is doing what we're doing, so we're screwed. If Alabama wins 5 games this year, they'll be lucky. 385. They're certainly not a powerhouse. They're not a top 20 team anyway. They won't finish in the top 20 at the end of the year. Let's see, 385, and that is a single to right field by Enos Cabell. I mean, Florida State is not that good, but they sure did make Florida State look like a juggernaut. Here's Watson, 655. No advantage for the home team. 655 is going to be a 6-4 ground out, fielder's choice. 665 would have been a wild pitch had they been at home, but that wasn't the case. So it is a fielder's choice 6-4. Watson's now at first with 2 outs. Walling, 430. Against a right-hander, 430 is a 4-3 ground out, and that's going to end the inning. Forgot to write in Chicago's numbers. And that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the second, still 3-0 Cubbies. Scheduled next Saturday is the Yankees and the Red Sox. I believe, I'm trying to remember if that's from Fenway or from Yankee Stadium. I don't recall off the top of my head, but that'll be the game of the week next week. Yankees and Red Sox. Here is Devon DeJesus, number 8 hitter. 508. We are looking at a rare play. 508 is a rare play. Bases are empty for the rare play. So that means bases empty, rare play. We are going to page 30. So we start on page 30 and see what happens. See if we need to go to the second page. 182, we do not. 182 is right here. No play injury. Pitcher suffers a pitching injury. Roll for pitching injury on page 25. After pitcher is replaced, roll again normally to resolve the plate appearance. Okay, so Mark Lemongello just got hurt, apparently. So it says go to page 25. So if we were doing like a season replay or whatever, you'd go to page 25 and roll on this. Let's see. I'm not even sure what you roll here. I don't know if you roll it. It doesn't really say what you're rolling here. It doesn't say how many dice you're rolling here. I guess it's 2 D10s, I assume. I don't know. So let's say we roll a 35. It's a bruised kidney. Let's see. Did it say if it was a throwing injury or a? Let's see here. Pitching injury. It says pitching injury, but it doesn't say what kind of pitch. Oh, okay, over here, pitching injury. Okay. And I rolled a 35. So shoulder tendonitis, he would be out 10 days if we were doing some sort of replay. But in our situation, he's just out of the game. So the Astros will bring in a new pitcher. Fortunately, like I said, they have a lot of pitchers because rosters had expanded. So they're going to bring in Joaquin Andujar to take over for Lemongello. Andujar it is. And we just re-roll for the at-bat. 635 makes it 645 with the home team batting. And it's a 5-3 ground out, 1 away. DeJesus is retired. And here comes Rick Reuschel. He has a eye of 3 and a contact of 1. But it's coming off the pitcher card, so it doesn't matter. 267. Reuschel's a righty hitter. 267 is a 1-6 ground out, or 1-3 ground out in this case. Had Reuschel been a lefty hitter, that would have been a base hit, but he was not. So 2 down for Greg Gross. That's a 366 non-split fly to left to end the inning. So we can cap Lemongello. He goes 1 inning. He got hurt before he faced the first batter in the second inning. Gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, walked 1, struck out nobody. And if the Astros don't come back and at least tie this game, he will be the losing pitcher. All right, so Rick Reuschel. We'll be facing Bruce Bochy. 699 for Bochy. That will be a base on balls. So Bochy will walk, and that will allow Andujar to bunt, as the pitcher spot is up So Andujar, his bunt rating is a 5. So we go to the bunt chart. Let's get the bunt chart out. Find the bunt chart. There it is. Okay, so he's a bunt rating of 5. So we're going to take the 3 dice and add it to his bunt rating and see what we get. We get a 12, so that's a total of 17. And that is a fielder's choice to first base. See below. Defense may take the automatic out at first or challenge the runner's speed with the fielder's arm. Now the runner's speed, Bochy, is not very good, so they could go for the lead dog here. Bochy, his speed is a 0, so it's a good chance that, and it's to the first baseman. So the first baseman is Buckner. Let's see what kind of arm Buckner has. Buckner's arm is a 3. So 3 to a 0. And if we're looking here, 3 dice. Let's see, add +2 if runner is forced. Okay, so they are forced, so we're going to add 2 to the arm because the runner is forced at second base. So Buckner's arm now, instead of being just a 3, let's see here, let me find his card again. Where'd it go? Yeah, instead of being just a 3, it's now a 5. So we're going to take 5 plus the 3 dice, and it has to be greater than 10. That should be almost automatic. And it is. So they will get the lead dog. Bad bunt by Andujar, so it's going to turn to a fielder's choice, 3 to 6. Bad bunt, as not to be confused with bad bunny. All right, hello, Captain. Good to see you. All right, is back to the top of the order for Landestoy, 185, and that is a bloop single to first base with less than 2 outs. It's only a 1 base advancement. So Andujar will stop at second base. 1 out and 2 on for Julio Gonzalez. 481 against a right-handed pitcher. 481 is a 6-4 ground out, so the runner will go to third. But Landestoy is out 6-4 with Andujar taking third, but now there are 2 outs. And it's up to Terry Poole if the Astros are going to get on the board this inning. 536, that is a fielding chance for the first baseman Buckner. That blue 6 is iffy. Let's see what Buckner can do with a 536. Oh, he just barely makes the play. 3 unassisted, and that will end the inning. So Buckner did it. He was able to make that play, unlike in 1986. But he makes the play to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 3-0 Cubs lead the Astros. Due up for Houston, it'll be for the Cubs rather, it'll be Rodney Scott, Bill Buckner, and Dave Kingman. Scheduled hitters for the Cubbies. We got a 305, and that's a strikeout on Rodney Scott. 1 away. Brings up Billy Buck. He walked and scored his first time up. 365, non-split again, is a 3 unassisted. Actually, it's 3 to 6 double play, but we're just going to call it 3 unassisted because nobody's on base. 2 down, and here's Kingman. 343, non-split. That's a strikeout. He's got a huge strikeout range, 300 to 382. And that's reflecting his strikeouts. They don't list the number of strikeouts on his card, but I'm sure it was probably over 100 or very close to it. And that's going to end the inning. May not have been over 100 because he only had 395 at bats, so he may not have been around long enough to have all those strikeouts. I don't know, but he is a strikeout machine. So we go to the fourth. Still 3-0. Jose Cruz, the batter. 333, and that's going to be an infield single for Jose Cruz. Cruz is aboard. Reuschel got an 8 hold rating, so that's going to be tough to get a jump on him. So they're down 3-0. They're going to hold him there. When you're playing Wrigley Field, you're kind of playing for the big inning. If it's in the Astrodome, they might play small ball, but not in Wrigley Field. 127, and that's going to be a 3-1 put out, so the runner will advance. Buckner will flip to Reuschel covering for the out. 1 down, but the runner does go to second base for Bob Watson. That's a 6-10, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Watson down on strikes for out number 2, and that will bring up Denny Walling. 491, and let's see, Walling facing a right-hander. 491 is a fly to center field. That will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 4th, and it will be Bobby Mercer facing Andujar. Hey, DJ. Oh, cool. I'm glad to know that, DJ. Anything I can do, if it helps, it makes your day go by a little bit better, then all the better. All right. Bottom of the 4th is Mercer. 666, but it becomes a 676, and that's going to be a base hit for Mercer. Bobby Mercer doubled in the 1st. Now he singles here in the 4th, and that'll bring up Manny Kingston Trio. 144, and that will be a fly to left field. Hauled in by Denny Walling. That's 1 away, and here's Dave Rader, the catcher. 422. Andujar righty. 422 is a 463 double play. That will erase everything. Pitcher's best friend, 463 double play. And we go to the 5th. The score still 3-0. So fortunately, Astros have calmed down and not going to let the Cubs run away with this. Try to keep it a closer game if at all possible. Reuschel will be facing Bochy, Andujar, and Landis-Doy. 661 for Bochy, and that's going to be a ground ball right back to the mound for Reuschel. Easy play, 1 away. And that brings up Andujar again. We'll see if we get a roll on his card. We do. It's a 308. Andujar, let's see, a 3 talks about his contact rating. He's got a 1 contact. So 1 contact right here, 308 is definitely a strikeout. So if you have 1 contact, doesn't matter what the number is, you're striking out. So Andujar down on strikes. 2 away. Base is empty for Rafael Landis-Doy. That is a 359 for Landis-Doy. Non-split is a 6-3 ground out, and that's going to end the inning. So Rick Reuschel, 5 shutout innings for the big guy, Rick Reuschel. And we'll go to Andujar. Now Andujar realistically is getting very close to fatigue because 3 innings is his fatigue inning. He has already reached that. So he gave up 1 hit. So we're going to add 10 to anything on the ballpark card. We're going to add 10 because of fatigue. Here's De Jesus. Get a 272. De Jesus, a righty. 272 is a 1-3 ground out. So Andujar makes the play, 1 away, and here comes Reuschel. Reuschel again. Hold on, I think I'm being summoned, but I'm not sure. right, hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Life happens. All right. I think what I was getting ready to do was have Rick Reuschel bat, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So, Rick Reuschel, like I was saying, what do I do with my pen? I left my pen over here. Something just telling me don't play these games anymore. I don't know why, but something's just telling me not to do that. But all right. So Reuschel, 3I and a contact of 1. Oh, 651. But we're going to add 10 to that, making it 661, then add 10 more because of fatigue, 671. 671 is a bloop single for Rick Reuschel. And that was all because of the fatigue that Andujar has. Bloop single. Now the Astro bullpen starting to loosen a bit. See if they got a lefty down there because they got lefties coming up. Yep, they're going to go Floyd Bannister. So Andujar is pulled, and Floyd Bannister is your new pitcher. They can't afford any more of those fatigue rolls, that's for sure. So Bannister will be facing a lefty Greg Gross with 1 out and Reuschel at first base. That's a 288, lefty on lefty, 288. It's still a deep drive to right field, but Gross has no power. So again, we're checking here, adding the 2 dice together, but nothing added to them. That's a 10. So it's still going to be a single plus. Single plus, so runners are now on the corners. Gross has the option to try for the extra base, but I think we will hold him up. His speed is only a 3, so we're not going to do anything. That's only 1 out. Got a guy at third. You don't want to make the second out at second base, and then now a sac fly can't score him. So here's Rodney Scott. Infield for the Astros is actually they're in 111. It's a redirect to a 311, and that's a strikeout. So Rodney Scott out on strikes on the redirect. To me, the redirect is one of the more interesting things in this game is the redirect. No other game has that kind of a function that I know of, but it adds something to the game for sure. Here's Bill Buckner. 670 makes it 680 with the home team batting. 680 is a single plus, so that's going to score the run and put the other runner on third. Base hit, RBI single from Buckner. That run is charged to Andujar as Reuschel scores. Gross will go to third. It's 4-0 Cubs. And here comes Kingman. 372. Kingman non-split. That's a strikeout. He's got that huge strikeout range in the 300s. So he is out on strikes. But the Cubs do break through again. Let's get the numbers on Andujar. He's going to go 3 innings. And he's going to give up 2 hits and a run. And he walked nobody and struck out 2. All right, so it's 4-0 Cubs as we go to the top of the 6th. And Rick Reuschel. Next inning will be his fatigue inning. He's got a fatigue of 6, but that doesn't start until the 7th inning. So we got Gonzalez, Poole, and Cruz due up. Whoa, red dye didn't make it through for some reason. I missed. You'd think the little deposit area in the dice tower would be big enough for me, but I wasn't paying attention, and we're going to re-roll everything. We get a 117, and that's going to be a ground out right to Rick Reuschel. And Gonzalez is out of there. Here's Terry Poole. That's a 499 against a right-hander. That's a strikeout. Against a left-hander, it would have been a deep drive, which is interesting since he is left-handed. Kind of an reversal split there, but 499 is a strikeout. And that brings up Jose Cruz. 515. That is a defensive check for Reuschel. 515 is a 1-3 putout. That's going to do it. So Rick Reuschel, 6 shutout innings, taking care of the Astros, and they lead it. Cubs still lead it 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Bannister stays in there to face Mercer. Mercer 456 against the lefty. 456 is going to be a double to right field. So how about that? Probably Mercer. He is 3 for 3, a single and 2 doubles for Mercer. So the old veteran's getting it done. Bobby Mercer. Manny Trio, 658 becomes a 668. And a 668 is a bloop single, but with less than 2 outs, the runner had to hold at third to make sure it wasn't going to be caught, so there's no run there. But there are runners on the corners with nobody out for Dave Rader. And the infield will come in again for the Astros, try to choke off a run. Get a 190, and that's going to be a base on balls. It's going to load the bases with nobody out. And we wonder if Bannister might be leaving this game, and I think he will. Bannister is going to be lifted. They will bring in a right-hander. And let's see who they're going to bring in to get out of the inning, or at least attempt to get out of the inning. They will bring in Tom Dixon. Tom Dixon is on. Bannister is going to go just 1 inning. Gave up 4 hits, a walk and 2 strikeouts. No runs yet, but all 3 runners are his responsibility. So we got we got DeJesus coming up after Rader drew the base on balls. It'll be DeJesus and then Reuschel. Infield in for the Astros, trying to choke that run off. Hello, Jimmy Jam. Good to see you. Infield in. 642 comes a 652, 652, and with the infield in, that's going to turn to a base hit, scoring 2 runs. That's a danger when you play the infield in. 2 runs will score. Run on second scores and run on third scores. So it's a 2-run single from DeJesus because the infield was in. Rader does stop at second base. And now Rick Reuschel looking to bunt. with nobody out and runners at first and second. His bunt rating is a, where is his bunt rating? It's a 6. So pretty good chance to make a good bunt here. 6 plus the 3 D10s. That's only a 1, so that's a total of 7. So he misses his 2 strikes, see below. So they're going to take the bunt off and let him swing away. That's a 346. And let's see, 346 is going to be a contact rating, which will be a strikeout. So Rick Reuschel will strike out. Out number 1. Base is still loaded for Greg Gross. I'm sorry, not bases loaded, first and second for Greg Gross. That's a 254. Gross is a left-hander. So 254 is a redirect to a 544. So a 544 is the second baseman Gonzalez. See what he can do on a 544. That's going to be a 4-3 ground out. So ground out with runners advancing. Out number 2. Runners do move up 90 feet, but now there are 2 outs for Rodney Scott. 2 runs are in. It's now 6-0 Cubs. 6:13 comes 6:23, and that will be a pop to second to end the inning. But 2 runs for the Cubbies, and they take a 6-0 lead and close the book on Bannister. He's charged with those 2 runs. And now Reuschel out. This will be his fatigue inning start, because inning number 7 starts his fatigue. And Enos Cabell, your batter. But he's got a 6-0 lead, so I don't think they're too worried about fatigue right now. 120, and that's a redirect to a 320, and that is a strikeout of Cabell. So Reuschel gets the K. I'll bring up Bob Watson. 632. 632 is a fly to center. 2 down. For Denny Walling. 112 redirect to 112 is a 1-3 ground out. Not bad. So 7 shutout innings by Rick Reuschel. He has been in charge the whole time. Cubs lead at 6-0. We are at the 7th inning stretch, but since I had that one little time I had to be away for a few minutes, I've already stretched, so we're gonna keep on going. Bill Buckner, the batter. .570. That's a fly ball to left field, but the 0 there should be no problem at all for Denny Walling, and it is not. .570 is a fly to left. 1 away for Kingman, King Kong Kingman. 695, but that's going to become a 705 with the home team batting, which is a deep drive to center field. Kingman power is a 9. Deep drive to center. All he needs is the dice to be add up to 8 or higher, and he's got a home run. And he does. That is gone. Dave Kingman crushed that one. King Kong makes it 7-0 Cubs. Kingman does what Kingman does. Home run. 7-0 Cubbies. Here's Mercer. Keep hoping for a close game, but I can't seem to get one in this season ticket game for a while. They've been blowouts for whatever reason. 128 is a fly to right. 2 down. Even when it looks like it might be an even matchup from the start, it just one team gets the dice rolls and the other one doesn't. Here's Trio, 173, and that's a single for Manny Trio. 2-out single. He's 3 for 4 on the game. And here's Doug Rader. 518. That's trouble for Dixon. 518 is a single to center field. So we got runners now at first and second. And DeJesus, your batter. .680 becomes a .690. And that's a single plus, so all runners advance 2 bases, another run will score. Scoring is Trio from second. Going to third from first to third is Raider. And it is now 8-0 Cubs. And the pitcher, Reuschel, is up. We get a 650, becomes a 660, but that's a 1-3 ground out to end the inning. 2 more runs for the Cubbies. They take a commanding 8-0 lead on the Astros. And Reuschel back out will face Bochy, a pinch hitter for Dixon, and then the top of the order and Landestoy. So Bochy will lead it off. 651 for Bochy, and that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop, 1 away. And now the Astros will need a pinch hitter, and they've got a bunch of them. With the expanded rosters, there are a bunch of pinch hitters. They're going to try to find a left-handed pinch hitter that's halfway decent. Actually, most of their bench is terrible. The only good pinch hitter they have is Jesus Alou, and he's right-handed, so we'll use him. He hits 320. Everybody else is like 230 or less. He hits 324, so we'll go with it. Jesus Alou, the pinch hitter. Here in the top of the 7th with 1 out against Reuschel. And it's a fielding check, 590. Well, the blue 0 makes it very, very easy. Right fielder for the Cubs is Bobby Mercer. And Mercer, if I can find his card, stuck behind somebody, I'm sure. There he is. 590 is just a fly to right field, so 2 down. Lou is retired. And here comes up Rafael Landestoy. 459 for Landestoy against a right-hander. 459. Deep fly to center. That's going to end the inning. So Reuschel going to go for the complete game shutout as we head to the bottom of the 8th. He hasn't given up anything since he reached his fatigue inning, so he's good all the way. Astros will need a new pitcher. And let's see, coming up for the Cubbies is, it's top of the order, Gross, Scott, and Buckner. So they'll bring in, well, you don't want to bring in your closer. That would be kind of stupid. So they will bring in Rick Williams, a right-hander. 4th pitcher used by the Astros. So Dixon pitched 2 innings completely. Let's see here. Gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits I've got him for. 2 runs on the home run from Kingman. And let's see, he struck out 1, didn't walk anybody. All right, so Rick Williams it is. He'll be facing the top of the order, Greg Gross. Gross, Scott, and Buckner. 8-0 Cubbies. 324, and that's a non-split, and that's a base hit for Greg Gross. Cubbies get their hitting shoes on, and by my count for the Cubs, that's hit number 15 on the ball game. For Scott, 404, and that's going to be a base on balls. So Rick Williams not doing so well. But I don't think the Astros are going to make another pitching change. They don't want to use up everybody here. Might be Rick Williams' game to finish out. 565, that's a ground ball to short, and that's going to be for Landestoy on a 565. Boy, he's terrible. 565 is a base hit to left field. It's going to load the bases. Bases are loaded. The score 8-0. They're not going to be doing trying for any extra bases or anything. They're just going to play it station to station, especially when you got Kingman coming up who just hit a home run before. Now he's got a chance for a grand slam. For 71. 471 is going to be a deep fly to center field. It'll be not only a sacrifice fly, but the runner on second will also get to third. That's how deep it was. So a sacrifice fly from Kingman makes it 9-0. Going to third is Scott. Staying at first is Buckner. 9-0. Infield looking for the double play to get out of the inning. 6-17 becomes a 6-27. And that's a pop-up to short. That will keep everybody where they are. 2 down for Manny Trio. 523. That's for the catcher, Bochy, but a 523 should be okay. 5-2-3 is a foul out to Bochy, and that will end the inning. But the Cubs, just for the heck of it, add another run. Close the book on Williams. He went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits and a run, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. So top of the 9th. And Mr. Reuschel going for the complete game. He'll be facing Gonzalez, Poole, and Cruz for the Astros. .391, and that's a non-split chance, and it's going to be a 5-3 ground out. So the Astros can't catch a break. Getting a 390s, it would have been a single or a home run down here. Even a 2-base error on a third baseman on a 392, but it was a 391. That's just the kind of day it's been for the Astros. Here's Terry Poole. 372. And Poole, again a non-split, is a fly to left, 2 down. So Rick Reuschel, 1 out away from a complete game. He's given up 3 singles, and that's it. He's pitching a 3-hit shutout. No one from the Astros has even made it to second base. I'm sorry, no, Alou made it to third. So my bad. They had runners on the corners at one point. So, but here's Jose Cruz. Reuschel looking to finish it out. 647, but he has not given up anything since he hit that number. So we're going to keep the 647. There's been no change, and that's going to do it. Even 657 would be an out, but 647 is a 5-3 ground out, and there's your ball game. Rick Reuschel, complete game victory, 9-0. Cubbies, a 3-hitter tossed by Rick Reuschel. He is the player of the game without a doubt. Rick Reuschel, a complete 3-hit shutout. We'll get the full numbers on Reuschel. He only walked 1. He walked Bochy in the third, and that was his only base on balls. He didn't strike out necessarily all that many. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've only got him for 4 strikeouts. Let's see. Were there any errors in the game? I don't think there were any errors in the game. Not that I can see. And I've got the Cubs unofficially for 16 hits. So 9 runs, 16 hits, and no error for the Cubs. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Astros. Rick Reuschel, the winner, Mark Lemongello. Despite being injured to start the second inning, he had given up the 3 runs, so they're on him, and he takes the loss. So next Saturday again, it'll be the Yankees and the Red Sox on the NBC game of the week. It will still be at noon. I'm not changing. It's going to be at noon. And let's see, is that game in Fenway or is it going to be in Yankee Stadium? I have to pull the schedule up because I forgot to check who the home team was. It's going to be the game played September the 9th. This one was played September 2nd. This one's going to be played September the 9th. It's Yankees at Red Sox, so we're in Fenway. We'll be at Fenway Park for the Yankees and the Red Sox. Fenway Park. And let me take a look and see who the pitching matchup is in that one for the September the 9th game in 1978. September the 9th. Go to Fenway, and it's going to be, a good one. Actually, a good matchup. Ron Guidry against Dennis Eckersley. Maybe we'll get a decent game, although the Yankees bombed Eckersley in real world. They knocked Eckersley out with a 7-run 4th inning. So we look at let me take this glare off of here. We look here at the retro sheet score. You can see that they scored 7 runs, did the Yankees in the 4th inning. And actually, Tom Bergmeyer had to come in and pitch 5 1/3 innings to finish it out. So Guidry pitched a 2-hitter, winning he was 21-2 after this game. So, yeah. So the Yankees and Red Sox from Fenway, Ron Guidry against Dennis Eckersley. I'm even pumped about that one, and I've been kind of disinterested a little bit since we made it to since I've been doing all the strat. I kind of disinterested is not the right word for it, but I haven't been as excited for this project as I was earlier on because of the fact that we're getting into football season, and so I at least kind of watch a little bit of it, even though I'm not a big fan. And B, I've been doing so much strat. I've got the 2 strat projects going. That's what's really held my attention. But next Saturday will hold my attention because it will be the Yankees and the Red Sox from Fenway Park in Boston. That will be next Saturday. So I appreciate all you guys who spent part of your Saturday with me and got through the technical difficulties I had in the 1st inning. Seemed like everything went smoothly after that. I don't know what happened in the first part. Nothing changed on my end. I don't know if it's, Xfinity caused me problems, or like someone said, maybe the Ghost of Bear Bryant, when I was dogging college football, decided to jump up and teach me a lesson. I don't know. Either way, we're through it. And the game tonight will be the Demolition League will be tonight. Might be kind of late, probably more like about 9:30, I'm thinking. It'll be Kansas City and Pittsburgh for the Demolition League. That'll be tonight. Sunday, I take off completely. Back on Monday morning with the 1987 replay. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. Again, Cubs whitewash the Astros 9-0. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend, and see you tonight if you're able to attend.